I don't know that they're polar opposite. I'm not sure that when I was not that age, it wasn't that way for all of us.
That's a good point.
In other words, I came from a very politically based generation.
Yeah.
We protested against things, we marched things. I wore an armband against war. I did all of those things growing up.
Yeah.
And so, realistically speaking, I don't think the generations are much different as far as stating what they feel.
Yeah.
In this particular place, on those particular Sunday nights, we welcome everybody in. It doesn't make any difference what their political, religious leanings or anything else, or if they have none of either.
Yeah.
They're welcomed in. They're embraced. They're respected, and we find things we have in common.
Yeah.
And in that respect, I guess this is kind of a safe zone where they can actually be themselves totally without having to worry about being judged.
Yeah.
If something comes up and we talk about it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But my object here is to not influence them in the way I think as much as it is to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
And if they want to come back one-on-one later, which some do, and visit with me,
Yeah.
sure. But in that large group, what we're doing is trying to give them something that they can latch onto and do and make an impact for that next week.
Yeah, definitely.
And in that respect, it's not much different than my writing. What I want them to do is start looking around and finding heroes. What I want them to do when they leave here is to have thought for themselves a bit.
Yeah.
They need to know why they believe what they believe.
Yes, that's a great point.
And they don't need to believe that because I believe that. They need to believe it because they believe it.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing that, you're opening up one thing only, and that's thought. Then it becomes theirs. The focus is on basically giving them a home away from home.
Yeah.
And so in that respect, you're actually coming into a place that defuses. And I think maybe once a week they need that.
Yeah.
Maybe once a week, that's why so many of them come, is because they are not divided by where they go to college, because we have 2 universities in the school. They're intense rivals.
Very tense rival.
When they come here, there's not all that is torn away.
Yeah.
It becomes a point of teasing each other, but nothing more.
Yes.
The same thing is true of clubs. The same thing is true of everything else. You come in here and you are just whatever your name is, and nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And then you ultimately find out some of these people have really unique stories to tell, and you turn it over and let them tell it.
Yeah.
Now, you don't limit what they say. They can say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
That's up to them. They're the ones who are going to draw the lines. You don't
Yeah.
give them guidelines as to here's what you say.
Yeah.
But we actually talk more about things that are hot button issues that deal with individuals. A
Yeah.
classic example is we had 2 people come in this year and talk about depression,
Yeah.
and talk about what it was to go through that.
Yeah.
Both of them were alums.
Yeah.
They had it in college and they were still battling it, and they were able to relate. We had a 4-person panel not long ago on 4 people who were campus leaders. People knew them well.
Yeah.
What they didn't know about them was they'd all been abused.
Yeah.
So we're talking about hot button topics,
Yeah.
and we're discussing them very openly. And I think when you look at these Gen Zs who come to here on Sunday night, they don't get many places where they can talk about abuse. They don't get many places where they can talk about depression. In most of the places they're taught to either cover that up, or they're taught to, well, get over it.
Yeah.
This is a place that they can actually come and open up and talk about that. Does that happen every week? No, it happens once or twice a semester.
Yeah.
But occasionally you realize, okay, here's something we need to talk about.